My name is Sophia Martinez, and if you'd seen me 6 years ago, you'd have met a woman holding her breath, tiptoeing through a life that felt like it belonged to everyone but me. I was the South Side Chicago girl who believed in love, family, and the promise of the American dream, until my mother-in-law's venomous words at her 60th birthday party shattered my world. She called me worthless in front of everyone, her gift to me wrapped in cruelty. But let me take you back to that glittering night in suburban Chicago, where the champagne sparkled, the laughter hid the truth, and my silent strength was born, a strength that would deliver a gift she could never refuse. I grew up in a tight-knit Mexican-American family on South Side Chicago, in a neighborhood where the streets buzzed with life, kids playing soccer in the alley, abuelas gossiping on stoops, and the smell of tamales drifting from open windows. My parents, Miguel and Rosa Martinez, were the backbone of our world. Dad was a mechanic, his hands forever stained with grease, fixing neighbors' cars in our cramped garage while humming Runch Had Us. Mom worked nights, cleaning offices downtown, her smile weary but warm, always telling me, "Mija, work hard, love harder, and never let anyone dim your luz." We weren't rich. Our house was a modest two-bedroom, the paint peeling, the fridge often half empty. But we had each other. My older brothers, Luis and Javier, teased me mercilessly, but taught me how to throw a punch and dream big. I was the dreamer, the girl who scribbled business plans in notebooks, imagining a shop of my own someday. High school was my escape. I was the kid who aced math and art, winning local awards for designing posters for community events. I waitressed at Rosie's Diner after school, saving every tip for community college, where I studied business management. That's where I met Alex Thornton, a kind-eyed software engineer from Evanston, a world away from my gritty streets. He'd come to the diner for late-night coffee, charming me with stories of coding apps and backpacking across Europe. We fell in love over milkshakes and long walks by Lake Michigan, dreaming of a future where we'd build something together. Alex was my safe harbor, my proof that love could bridge worlds.
But every fairy tale has its dragon, and mine was Evelyn Thornton, Alex's mother. Evelyn was old Chicago money. Think Lake Forest mansions, country club memberships, and a wardrobe of tailored silk. Her husband, George, ran a real estate firm that had seen better days, but Evelyn's pride never wavered. From our first meeting, she sized me up like a knockoff purse at a flea market. "Sophia, how charming that you're so hardworking," she'd say, her smile sharp enough to cut glass. I was the diner girl to her, not the woman her son loved. Alex's sister Lydia, a corporate lawyer with a banker husband, was Evelyn's pride and joy. I was the outsider, the wrong kind of ambition. We married in a small church ceremony, my parents' savings and Alex's contribution, despite Evelyn's insistence on a proper venue. "We paid for most of it, Sophia," she'd remind me at every family gathering, her tone implying I owed her my existence. Our honeymoon in Puerto Rico was magic, dancing under stars, promising forever. But back in Evanston, in the cozy fixer-upper home George gifted us, with Evelyn strings attached, the cracks began to show. Alex's job at a tech startup demanded long hours. Then layoffs hit. He spiraled, taking contract work that kept him away for weeks. I enrolled in online business courses, picking up freelance gigs, designing flyers, managing social media for local shops to keep us afloat. But Evelyn saw my hustle as failure. Her visits were torture. She'd glide into our home, critiquing my tacky decor, handmade throws from Mom, my cooking, "Too much chili, dear," even my clothes,
Secondhand chic is bold. At family dinners, she'd praise Lydia's promotions while dismissing my efforts. Sophia's little side jobs are sweet, she'd smirk, but real success takes pedigree. Alex tried to defend me, but his words were soft, drowned by her presence. I felt smaller each time, my confidence eroding like sand under waves. The breaking point came 2 years into our marriage. Alex's unemployment stretched our savings then, and I was freelancing round the clock. Logos for a bakery, menus for a taco truck, even a website for a church. I'd started dreaming bigger. What if I turned my freelance hustle into a real business? I'd always loved flowers. Mom and I used to plant marigolds in our tiny backyard. I sketched ideas for a floral shop, not just bouquets, but event planning, weddings, community workshops. I called it Bloom Vibe, a name that felt like hope. I saved every penny, researched suppliers, even scouted a small storefront in Evanston, but I kept it secret, afraid Evelyn's mockery would crush it. One night, after a brutal family dinner where Evelyn toasted Lydia's new corner office while ignoring my latest contract win, a branding deal for a local cafe, I broke. Alone in our bedroom, tears soaking my pillow, I heard her voice in my head. Worthless. I opened my laptop, staring at my Bloom Vibe business plan. No more, I whispered. I'm done being invisible. That night, I registered the business, applied for a small loan, and leased a tiny shop space with my savings. I told no one, not even Alex, who was away on a contract job. Fear and fire fueled me. I'd prove her wrong. Bloom Vibe started small. I opened in a corner storefront, bare shelves and a single cooler, arranging flowers at 3 a.m. after freelancing all day. My first customers were neighbors, drawn by my hand-painted sign and free coffee samples. I offered affordable bouquets, DIY flower workshops, and wedding packages for working-class couples like my parents. Word spread through Instagram, where I posted vibrant arrangements and stories of my clients, a bride on a budget, a daughter honoring her mom's memory. By month 6, I hired a part-time assistant, Maria, a single mom who reminded me of my own. Revenue grew, $3,000, then $10,000 a month. I reinvested every cent, expanding to corporate events and charity galas. Forbes featured me in a 30 under 30 list under my maiden name, Martinez, to keep it secret. I told Alex bits and pieces. He was proud but distracted, unaware of the scale. I wanted the reveal to be mine. The family dynamic grew worse. Alex's new job stabilized us, but Evelyn's disdain sharpened. At a cousin's wedding, she introduced me as Alex's wife, the one with the little flower hobby. Lydia snickered. At least she's trying. George, ever the peacemaker, patted my arm. Ignore them, kid. But ignoring wasn't enough. I began planning my moment, something undeniable. Bloom Vibe's success gave me confidence, but I needed a symbol, a way to flip Evelyn's cruelty into my victory. The opportunity came with Evelyn's 60th birthday, a spectacle she planned herself at their Lake Forest estate. Invitations arrived like royal decrees, gold foil, calligraphy, celebrating Evelyn Thornton, a legacy of grace. The guest list read like Chicago's who's who, politicians, philanthropists, old money friends. I spent weeks preparing not just my outfit, but my coup de grace. Bloom Vibe had just landed a contract to decorate the city's biggest charity gala, valued at $500,000. I'd also bought a gift, the deed to a historic Lake Forest cottage Evelyn adored, once owned by a rival family. It was in foreclosure after George's firm mismanaged investments, a delicious twist. I paid cash, $1.2 million from my profits. The night arrived, the estate aglow with chandeliers and fairy lights. Guests in black ties sipped Dom Perignon. A string quartet played Vivaldi. I wore a crimson gown I'd designed with a local seamstress, my hair swept up, feeling like a warrior in disguise. Evelyn, in sapphire velvet, held court, barely acknowledging me. Alex whispered, "You look stunning!" But I was focused. During cocktails, Evelyn pulled me aside. "Sophia, don't draw attention tonight. This is my moment." Her words were a slap, but I nodded, heart racing. Dinner was a parade of excess: caviar, roasted duck, truffle risotto. Toasts began, George's warm but brief, Lydia's smug ode to Evelyn's class. When my turn came, Evelyn laughed. "Oh, Sophia, let's not bore everyone. You're not exactly eloquent." The room chuckled. Alex tensed. I stood, glass in hand, voice steady. "I insist. Evelyn, you've taught me resilience, how to rise when others push you down." She smiled, oblivious. "For your birthday, I have a gift." My assistant, posing as a server, handed me a satin box. Inside, the deed, tied with a silk ribbon. Evelyn opened it, her face shifting from confusion to disbelief. "The Hawthorne Cottage? How?" I smiled. "Bloom Vibe, my little hobby. It's a multi-million-dollar business now, decorating this city, lifting up people like me. I bought your dream cottage with my profits." The room gasped. Phones emerged, recording. "You called me worthless, Evelyn, but I built this in silence. The cottage is yours, if you apologize. Here, now, for every word that cut me down." Silence gripped the room. Evelyn's hands shook, her facade cracking. George whispered, "Evelyn, say something." Lydia stared, speechless. Guests leaned in. Finally, Evelyn's voice broke. "Sophia, I'm sorry. I was cruel. You're remarkable." Louder for all. "I misjudged you. Forgive me." Tears streamed down her face. I nodded. "It's yours." Applause erupted. Toasts turned to me. The aftermath was seismic. Evelyn sought my advice on business, her pride humbled. George hugged me, whispering, "Proud of you, kid." Lydia sent a tentative text, apologizing. Alex and I grew stronger, co-planning Bloom Vibe's next expansion. I evolved from the silenced daughter-in-law to a beacon, funding floral workshops for low-income women, turning pain into purpose. Looking back, that South Side girl learned to bloom where she was planted, even in rocky soil. Evelyn's cruelty was my crucible, forging a strength I didn't know I had. If you're out there feeling dismissed or unworthy, know this: your worth isn't in their words. It's in the empire you build, the light you refuse to let die. As Maya Angelou said, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise." Thank you, from the depth of my heart, for walking this journey with me. Stories like these remind us that we can turn pain into power, disdain into triumph. If this moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more real stories of resilience and redemption. Your support keeps these voices alive. Together, we lift each other up. Until next time, keep blooming, no matter the odds.